me just be clear in the beginning of the video. I don't hate my phone. I hate what it stole from me. My focus, my time, my confidence. I got addicted to phone, to social media, and I traded real progress for cheap distractions. And even though I kept my grades up, deep down I knew that I was drifting. And I was supposed to build something with my life. But I stayed stuck. And with every day I wasted, the guilt only grew stronger. Yesterday I was sitting here and I was supposed to study, fill out some forms, and do some other stuff. But instead I opened my laptop and I started watching some movies. And after 2 hours of watching movies, I stopped to drink something or to eat something because I was feeling a little hungry. But I felt that I'm very embarrassed right now, and I was feeling very guilty at the moment, and I was feeling very ashamed. And I thought with myself that why I'm feeling guilty right now, like why I'm ashamed, why I feel so embarrassed right now. Like there's nobody in the house, there's nobody in the room, but still I feel very less and empty and guilty and embarrassed. And then I remembered that I used to feel the same way like for a long time. Then I remembered the first time that I started feeling really embarrassed and guilty, and it was at 9th grade. But I got a little better over time. But yesterday I felt that I'm very embarrassed and I feel very guilty. So I started pondering about this and I decided to do a video about it because I know that a lot of people can relate to this. And this is something that I have come to realize recently in my life, and when I was a teenager I didn't know it. So for the teenagers or for young adults like me, I hope that this video will be very helpful. Let me tell you a little bit about myself first. Right now I'm a second year computer science student at University of Calgary here in Alberta, Canada. And now my only vision is to grow and to progress and to live a better life. As I told you, I was watching movies yesterday and I felt very ashamed and embarrassed. And today I started writing down that what are the reasons, and I decided to do a video about it because I know a lot of people can relate to this. As a kid, I was the smart kid. In my 2nd and 3rd grades, the teachers would always praise me and give me awards and prizes. The same was true when I immigrated back to my country, and there I was the smart kid. The teachers would praise me all the times. I would win awards and prizes and everything. But when I got my first phone at 9th grade, everything changed. Suddenly I found a new hobby. At first I would play games on it, and then I created some social media accounts and I started watching a lot of videos, talk to a lot of people, get into relationships through these online platforms. And this suddenly changed my life. Like I become very busy scrolling. Every day after school I would just sit down, scroll for hours, waste my time and do nothing else. Even though I kept my grades up, because when I was at school I was not allowed to have my phone, I would listen intently and I always had the first position in my class, like always A+, always hundreds. But deep down I was becoming weaker and weaker day by day because I would spend hours staring to my phone. I would talk to people, I would get into meaningless online relationships, and then I would break up, which would hurt me. As a result, purchasing a phone at young age, at 9th grade, really destroyed my life. Because before that I was the smart kid. I would always win prizes and awards and progress, and teachers would always praise me because I would solve the math problems very fast. I would memorize everything very fast. But after getting a phone, my focus got weaker and I spent more time on social media instead of taking on projects and making real progress and achieving awards and prizes. And I was turning into someone who I was not. My grades were still at A+, but I didn't make any other progress. I didn't take any projects, I didn't win any prizes, I didn't win any awards, because I would spend hours scrolling on social media and talking to people online. I didn't want to talk to my classmates in the class anymore. As a result, I became very silent in the classroom and I was not connecting to my friends in real life anymore. And also because getting into a relationship through online platforms is so much easier than in real life, I would get into relationships and I would break up and get hurt all the times. So now that I think think about it, if I didn't have the phone at that time, I wouldn't waste hours scrolling on social media, disconnecting from my friends, and getting into useless relationships and breakups and hurting myself. So in a way, it was a big self-sabotage. And also, I was in the ninth grade, and then I went to high school, and my expectations of myself grew. Like, I knew that as a kid I was a smart kid and I would win prizes and awards and this stuff, and I thought with myself, okay, I'm older now, I'm in high school, so I have to do these big things. I have to have more friends, more meaningful relationships. But what happened is that because I had these big expectations from myself suddenly, like in the past when I was until the 7th and 8th grades, I didn't have any expectation from myself. I didn't have big goals. I didn't want to grow into this person. All I wanted to do was to go in the classroom, talk with my classmates, have fun, and learn something along the way as well. And I wanted to get like A+ grades as well, but that was not something that I would fixate on, and that was not the reason that I wanted to go into class. But when I went to high school, I had these big expectations from myself, and I would say, okay, I'm bigger now and I have to do these big and huge things. And what happened is that I got very overwhelmed by these expectations that I had of myself. I scared myself and I scared my mind, and I got overwhelmed, and suddenly now I was addicted to the habit of putting off things and say that, okay, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and I'll say the same thing, I'll do it tomorrow again. And I got addicted to putting off and to avoidance, and every time that I would think that, okay, that I have to do this big thing, I would just overwhelm myself, and I was scared and I didn't want to do anything. That is how that at ninth grade to onwards, I was still an A+ student, but I started developing this negative self-talk with myself because I couldn't do anything, because I was always distracted with my phone, and I was very overwhelmed by the big standards and expectations that I set for myself. As a result, even though I was an A+ student, inside I was becoming weak day by day. I was stressing myself less because I couldn't get things done. I didn't take on any projects. I didn't win anything. I didn't get any awards or anything. And I was not proud of myself, and I didn't have fun as well. Because the time that I had real fun was when I was talking with my classmates, when I would go out with them, go to the parks or places or libraries and talk to them and laugh, and when I would play with my siblings at home. But now, even though I was doing the easy things by distracting myself and avoiding, I was not having fun. I didn't do anything that makes me proud. I didn't win anything. I didn't make any progress. So we think that if we do the easy and the things that gives us pleasure, makes us happy and makes us to be comfortable, that's not true. That makes us even worse, because every time that we avoid something, every time that we distract ourselves, every time that we numb ourselves, we are just postponing the problems. The problems aren't going to solve themselves. Like the textbook isn't going to read itself. The projects aren't going to be completed by themselves. We have to do it. But every time that we keep postponing it, the pressure grows on us, and we trust ourselves less and less, because we think that we are hopeless, because we cannot do anything, we can't focus on anything. And that is how that the pressure and the guilt starts to pile up. The guilt becomes bigger. You start to feel embarrassed, you start to feel ashamed of yourself, and that is how that you end up in a place that you feel like that you have been embarrassed and ashamed and guilty your whole life because of the decisions that we made ourselves. Every day we are making decisions. Like today you can say that, okay, I will have that cookie, but you think that, okay, it doesn't matter because it's just one day. Okay, I'll watch that video for today. Okay, I'll watch that movies for today. It doesn't matter, it's just today. But we don't know that we have been saying this for years. We have been saying this for years to ourselves. Okay, for one day it doesn't matter, but if you do it every day and say, okay, it doesn't matter for today, it's just one day, it piles up and it becomes 1 year, 2 years, 3 or even 5 years. So the only thing that matters is the decisions that you make today. The life that we have right now is because of the decisions that we made in the past. All we have right now is today's decisions, because yesterday is gone, tomorrow isn't here yet. We don't even know if it is going to be here or not. What we have is today's decisions. So the only thing that we have to focus on is this 24 hours that we have right now, and the decisions that we make. If we want to eat that junk food, if we want to scroll, if we want to waste our times or not, if we want to go to gym or not. And these are the exact decisions that will shape our life. So today's decisions are going to build our life down the line, whether it's in 5 years or 2 years or even tomorrow. And I've learned that stress doesn't come from hard work. It comes from avoidance, it comes from not taking action, and it comes from avoiding the things that we are supposed to do. It comes from not taking action on something that we have some control over. The minute that we take action, the minute that we act on something that we are stressing over, the stress will go away. So now we talked about that, what were the problems in my own life that kept me stuck in the same place for a long time. Now I want to talk about the solutions to these problems and how we can get rid of them, and how we can remind ourselves that these were the things that ruined our lives as teenagers, and how we can get rid of them so we will have a better life for now and for future. First thing that I would tell anyone, any teenager or young adult or even older people than myself, the first thing that I would say is that get rid of your social media, get rid of your phone addiction. As I said, I don't hate phones, I don't hate social media or anything. I just hate what it can steal from us. It can steal our focus, it can steal our achievements, it can steal our confidence. So if you want to use your social media, I'm not a person who say, okay, quit your social media forever. If you want to use it in a good way and get some benefits out of it, that's great. But if you're a person like my younger self, that you would just come back from school and scroll for hours, you have to stop it as soon as possible. Because you're not just wasting your time and potential, you are creating bad habits. If you scroll for hours, if you waste your time, you will not make any real progress in your life, because first of all, you don't have the time, and second, after you watch videos for hours on social media, because you're getting a lot of dopamine from it, you will get addicted to it, because dopamine is the motivation chemical and it will keep you hooked on social media and on your phones. And because you're doing it all the times and you're not making real progress, you will develop negative self-talk and you will hate yourself, because you will feel guilty and ashamed because of avoiding the things that you had to do. Try to delete social media off your phone. Try to come up with the systems to get rid of it. I mean, you can use it sometimes to search for things and learn stuff, but not as a hobby and not as a habit that you have to do every single day. Because you're not a slave to your phone, you're not a slave to technology. You are the boss. You get to choose how to use your phone. It should be something that serves you, not something that wastes your time. So use it to serve you and use it to get some benefit and information or something like that, but don't use it to waste your days and years and months and as a way to distract yourself from the real problems that you need to solve. Because if you just postpone the problems, they won't get solved. They will just grow and become even bigger. The second thing that I learned that is very important is that don't fixate on the goals, don't fixate on the outcomes, and don't overwhelm yourself with big goals and ambitions. The only thing that you have to focus on is showing up, doing the work, and on your systems. For example, if you want to become successful at the school, you don't have to focus on getting A+ scores or becoming the best student or achieving these big and huge things, because you will overwhelm yourself and you will scare your mind. Because humans' mind is not to achieve big things, it is to save energy and to survive. What you have to do is that you have to focus on your system, and every day you have to make small decisions that make your future a better future, because these little small things, they will add up over time. But if you keep fixating on the results and outcomes and goals, you will overwhelm yourself and you will keep avoiding, and you will get into a habit of postponing the things and procrastinating. That is why that you have to start small. You have to focus on your system and on how you will get to achieve your goals, not on what and on the goal itself. You have to detach yourself from goals and outcomes. Otherwise, you will be overwhelmed, you will be pressurized, and you will have a lot of expectations and these big goals that you can't get to them. As a result, you will be sad and unhappy all the times. So try to detach from your goals and outcomes. and don't have big expectations from yourself. For example, when you go to high school or when you hit a milestone, for example, don't set really big expectations. Don't expect yourself to do big and achieve big, because it will overwhelm yourself. But if you want to achieve those big things, you have to focus on your systems, on your day-to-day actions and decisions that will get you closer to that, instead of fixating on the outcome. So the only thing that you have to focus on is the system and on how you will get there, on your day-to-day actions, on your small actions and decisions that you have to make. For example, removing your phone, studying for 1 hour every day, take on projects, to meditate 10 minutes, and to focus on one thing for a long period of time. So the systems and also the habits are the things that are going to get you to where you want to go, not fixating on goals and outcomes. You can have goals, you write them down and put them somewhere, but you don't have to fixate on it. That shouldn't be your main focus, because you're so far away from that right now, and this distance between you and the things that you want to do can make a lot of depression and stress. But if you focus on actions that you can take today, that is how you will move the needle. That is how you will actually get to things that you want to do. So the only thing that will improve you and the only thing that will grow and determine your future is today's decisions. Today's decisions are the most important thing in your life right now, because these decisions will shape your future. So if you want to do something, if you want to get something done, you have to do it today. If you tell to yourself, no, I'll just do it tomorrow, that is just procrastination. That is just procrastination, and you've been telling that to yourself your whole life. I know, because I've always done that. If you want to do something, just do it today. Don't pressurize yourself. Don't make yourself overwhelmed by thinking about the end result. Just focus on starting, on having fun, on just, doing the things for the sake of doing the thing. To learn something, to enjoy it, to be present in the moment. So that's all I got for today. If you like this video and you can relate to these types of videos, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next videos.